Honestly, it's not hard at all to find a horror story about LASIK eye surgery. Basically, you type LASIK into any social media platform, you're going to find somebody that had a bad experience with it, whether it's their eyes are constantly dry and burning, their eyes are just sore all the time, they paid so much money and it didn't fix their vision, or their vision was good for a little bit and it went back to where it was originally. So there's all these different reasons why people regret getting LASIK. Myself, I got LASIK. Do I regret it? I definitely don't regret it because it fixed a few things for me. So there's many reasons why you can get LASIK. If you're just somebody that wants to get LASIK because you want a little bit better vision, you don't want to wear glasses, then it is playing Russian roulette because you could just go back to your original vision pretty easily, at least as you get older. So depending on what age you are, LASIK can just revert back to where you were if it was only for reading glasses. Myself, again, I had something called astigmatism, which is a flat spot on your eye, and it causes, for me at least, there's other people that have astigmatisms that say that this didn't happen for them, but basically for me, if you stare into a light bulb, which don't do that, that's stupid, but if you did, and you see a little tiny purple dot or a green dot, like just floating around in your vision, that's what I had constantly in my vision because of something called astigmatism, which was a flat spot on my pupil. So when I was reading, if it was small font, I would have to read kind of in my peripheral vision a little bit to see what was there, because if I looked directly at it, there would be this little green or purple dot on the font, and I just couldn't see what it was. Small text, it wasn't like they're like, can you read this? I just couldn't see it, right? That was one of my problems. My other problem, which was, I don't know the medical term for it, but I had cone-shaped eyes, which meant that the light struggled to make its way into my eye. If it's like this, the light a lot easier gets in and you can see brighter and a lot better, right? Where my eyes were like this, so it was harder for the cone-shaped eye to let the light in, and I struggled just to get my vision that way. So I had two problems with my eye that LASIK, they told me, could correct. So I decided, of course, I'm going to go in and talk to the doctors. I believe I talked to this one. It was 5 years ago. He's the only one that looks familiar. I don't remember any of these people, but he was at least there. I don't remember if he's the one that did my surgery, but I went in. I had basically an appointment with them to discuss whether I was a good candidate. They got me to read the board, see what my vision was at, check the shape of my eye, checked everything like that. They said, yeah, I definitely was a good candidate, but unfortunately, you can see here that if I go back, well, here's all the stuff like that. If I go back, it'll tell you somewhere here how much it costs. Yeah, $490. So I was thinking maybe it's going to cost me $1,000 to get LASIK, but my eyes were so bad they had to do so much to them that it was $4,000. And I decided, of course, I hate my bad vision. It's not that I hate glasses. It was that I hate my bad vision, or I hate just not being able to see properly. They told me, even though I'm going to pay $4,000, I'm basically, in a few years, because I'm getting older, going to need reading glasses to read, which they weren't wrong about. I can still read the small font, but it strains my eyes now, right? But they told me within a certain amount of time, just like everybody else, my eyes would deteriorate and the LASIK's not going to make it. So I have like 18-year-old eyes. I said, yeah, still, we're going to go for it, because if we can get rid of the flat spot on my eye and we can get rid of how bright of an area I need to be in to read, it'll be great, right? So I decided, of course, let's do that. We scheduled the appointment. They told me a few things that I needed to do, which was I needed to have somebody that could drive me home, which was my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. I needed somebody that could drive me home, so she obviously did that for me. I needed to keep my eyes closed entirely for 24 hours after the surgery. So it needed to be somebody that I trusted. They said originally, when you first do the surgery, you're allowed to have your eyes open, walk to the car. Like you had sunglasses on, you could have your eyes open just enough to get to your car. Then from that point on, have the person, you trust them enough that they will get you to a bed or somewhere where you can keep your eyes closed for 24 hours while your eyes heal, because they didn't want you blinking. And I'll explain why in a second, but it really would be a bad thing if what they say could happen, it would be horrible, right? So basically they said, these are all the things I need to have done. And I said, yeah, let's sign up for it. I paid in advance, I believe. I'm pretty sure I had to pay in advance. I paid them their money. They scheduled my appointment. I went into the building. It was in Hamilton, Ontario. We went in, and again, it was, let's see, the doctor. I can't remember where it just showed the doctor. Affordability. That's funny. Yeah, it definitely wasn't affordable. It was $4,000 for me. But anyway, so I went into the room. This part's going to get a little bit like cringy, gross. If you don't like it, that kind of thing, maybe you can skip past, because I'm going to explain what happens during the surgery. And I'm going to warn you, there's some smells to this. So basically what happens is you get brought into a room. There's a table. Basically, it's just a steel table. You feel like you're getting examined by like an alien abduction at the time, because everybody's in suits, almost like COVID. So this was pre-COVID, but people were done up like they would be in a hospital at COVID. So they sat me on a table. They laid me down. They explained, we're going to do your left eye first, then your right eye. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up your eye. So basically, when I say open up your eye, this is your eye. They put on a hinge, and they opened it up so that they could work on the inside of your eye and not the front. Like the front glassy part, just up. Then they can actually work on the meaty grossness of your eyeball. Again, I told you can skip this part if you don't want. So I said, okay, that's fine. They said, I said, what if we move? I happened to say this before they did. I said, what if I move my eye or something happens? They said, no, they kind of lock you down. They have this suction cup thing that has a hollow center where the laser can go in and open, like move. But the suction cup goes onto your eyeball so that you can't even move your eye. It goes under your eyelids and you can't move your eye at all. It's just stuck there. Then they say, okay, we're ready. We're going to start the procedure. You're expecting there to be a little bit of pain because it's in your eye, but there's absolutely no pain at all. The only thing is you can smell it. It's like, you know, the smell of burning hair. It's worse than that. It's the worst smell. You can also just smell your own eye. And then the second it flips up, again, I'm just telling you this because this is what's going to happen to you. Your eye flips up and everything that you could just see turns like 1,000 times bigger. A little tiny red dot that I was looking at when it happened just was my whole vision. I could see like almost the little pixels of this tiny little dot because your eye's so magnified when it's open. You're not seeing anything. It's just pure blurry blindness. They work on my eye. In my case, they had to take my eye from this shape. So they flipped it up. Then they shrank her down to a roundness. And then they put the eyeball back down. Then they worked on the flat spot on my pupil. Skipped to my next eye. It only took probably about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes per eye just to set up. And then I was done. They said, you're done. You can go out to the room where your wife is and wait about 45 minutes. Make sure you don't pass out, anything like that. Once you've done that, you guys can go home. And I remember walking out to the room just to find the chair where I was going to sit. And there was a magazine sitting there and font, tiny little font. Even with my sunglasses on, even with my eyes just done, they told me it's going to take about a week before your vision fully gets better. And I already could see this font. I could already see all this font on this magazine that I never would have been able to see before. So my vision was already about like 10 times better while they're saying it wouldn't be better yet and it will get better soon. So I went home with my wife. We ended up doing the 24 hours with my eyes closed. And the reason why you have to have your eyes closed, like I said, I would explain, is because the little flappy part on your eye, if you blink too many times, it could like roll up, which causes, again, eye issues. Because if it heals with like a ripple on your eyeball, you're gonna have to get surgery again, or worse, maybe you just lose your eye, lose the sight in your eye, because I don't know if it healed like, you know, with a crease in it, that might be just part of your vision forever. The reason why most of these people hate their surgery is because most people getting it are not young. In my case, all the people I know were older, and some of them do regret it because they're going back to needing reading glasses, which myself, I can still read stuff without it. If I have a flashlight, like say I take my phone and I put a flashlight on stuff, I can still read little small font. But if I'm in a dark area, it's pretty much back to that, like tiny. I can see the font now. It's not like a blurry line anymore like it would have used to been, but it's tiny. But if I put a flashlight on, I can still read little fonts that would have been hidden behind my green dot. So in my case, do I love that I got LASIK. Am I very happy? But of course I am, because it actually changed my vision where I don't have to be in as bright of an area. I like to see small stuff. I do need to shine a flashlight on it or be in a bright area still, but definitely it's like I can see stuff much more brighter. And as far as anything besides writing goes or reading, my eyes are a million times better. I definitely do not regret getting it in that sense, where I can see so far up the road driving. I could always see so far up the road, but with that dot, it just sucked. And then the only thing now is I can't really see street signs until I'm up close to them, unless I have reading glasses on again, because getting older, your eyes are going to do that. You're going to have bad vision. You're going to need reading glasses. So again, it wasn't to fix me from ever needing reading glasses. It was to fix my issues. Some of these people that regret getting it is because they didn't want glasses. Now they did LASIK. Their eyes hurt. Their vision wasn't any better. It cost them, in my case, it would cost $4,000. If it didn't work out, it would be a $4,000 regret. I wish I just kept my eyes the way they were. But no, myself, of course I don't. They changed the shape of my eyeball. My eyes are like not too shabby now. But yeah, I can see much better. No pain. The only thing that is weird is sometimes it's almost like the way I think of it is like a bird, how the birds like zoom in and out. My eyes now, like say you're flashing something in front of me really fast, I can't read it while it's moving. Like I have to almost choose my zoom in and zoom out on stuff so I can read small, but it's not like I can go over here quick and just read. I have to like zoom in by not even squinting, but like just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I have very weird vision in that sense where I can read the big stuff fine, but even like something like this right here, this writing here, I can read it, but it's like a blur until I like zoom on it and see that it says vision, right? But yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I just really have to focus. It's like I have to hyper focus on something. I can see the small font. I can see something tiny, excuse me, but I have to hyper focus on it in order to see that small font. That is my one side effect, which I think that's still better than what I used to have to do, which was out of my peripheral vision to read the small stuff. And my other side effect, which this is just like a really weird one. So I have almost like a double vision sometimes until I zoom in on the stuff like I was saying, like how I do it. I almost have a double vision, but there's some point in the night, if I stay up where, so I think what it is one of my eyes has changed. So you know how you have glasses and you need one prescription here, one prescription here. So I think one of my eyes has got weaker than the other. So I'll have like a double vision a little bit sometimes if I'm looking at something small, but at about 3 o'clock in the morning, if I stay up really late, all of a sudden my eyes just go crystal clear. Like one of my eyes, the one that's better gets lazy and it kind of matches. And then boom, I just have crystal clear vision, like better vision than I've ever had. And it's like about for 20 minutes of the night. And only if I stay up. It's only if I'm like overtired, right? But yeah, I'll have like about 20 minutes of crystal clear vision a day. And the rest of it, it's not that it's blurry or anything like that, but it didn't give me crystal clear vision. It made my vision way better. I'm very happy that I did it. It didn't do a lot of the things that it said it would do on there. When I was back in there and I was like reading the thing, she's like, can you read this line? And I was like squinting and barely could read it. And then she's like, yep, that means you got 20/20 vision. I'm like, I wouldn't probably say that I have 20/20 vision from it. I can see that small font now, but I'm sure that someone with 20/20 is just like, that's what that says, right? Where I'm like, I guess E, right? So that's my experience. Would I do it again? I definitely think that I would do it again because it changed so much for me. When I watch these videos of people that regret it, I feel very bad for them because I'm not gonna lie, I was scared of it. I was almost as scared as I was when I was jumping out of a plane. I was probably more scared of getting LASIK than I was from parachuting, right? But I would definitely do it again because I have no side effects in that sense, other than my eyes are just getting worse with age. Can't blame LASIK for that. It fixed a lot at the time. And I'm sure if you're looking at it when you're 20, a lot younger, LASIK probably would be good for you because it it definitely is game changing. It's like life changing to go from having to just, where's my glasses, or your glasses break and you're just basically shut down for the day, and boom, you can just see, right? It's people that can see perfectly do not, they definitely take for granted being able to see perfectly, because the people that don't see perfectly are the people that struggle to even see. Yeah, they definitely have some struggles. It is not fun to not be able to see. So hopefully you guys got a little bit from this. If you're looking into getting LASIK and you've seen nothing but horror stories, there is some good to it. It really just depends on why you're doing it. If you're just doing it because you don't want to wear glasses, I definitely wouldn't suggest getting LASIK. I would just stick to the glasses, because there is so many different things that could go wrong. If you're doing it because your eyes are like mine, where you just couldn't see properly anymore and you just needed something like this, then definitely, yeah, go for it. If worst case happens and you do end up with something like that, I'm sure that it's not as common as these videos make them out to be. Like, if you type it in, you're gonna see so many of them. But how many of them are talking about the story like me, where it just, it was all right. LASIK was fine. It changed my life to a good way, not in a crystal clear way, but it definitely helped me out in many ways. So hopefully you guys got something from that, and we'll see you next time.